Hey guys, welcome back. So last week when I left you, we were making arrows out of wild rose shafts that I harvested this past winter. So I've got these here, and to be honest with you, I bundled them up, throwed them underneath my bed, and I forgot all about them. So here we are. I'm gonna get these out. These have been under my bed for a few months, and they should be good and dry. I'm gonna cut this tape off of them, and we'll kind of do some hand straightening, and I'll probably rewrap them again, and we'll let them kind of be nestled together. But luckily, I have another bundle that are a little farther along that I've kept up with. So I'll kind of talk about what I need to do to get this bundle to that point, but then we'll jump over to that bundle and kind of show you what's going on. So I used tape to bundle these together because at the time that's what I had handy. But a good string, I use paracord also, and you can really cinch it down and get them all kind of packed tightly. And as they dry, you know, they'll kind of hold one another straight with them being nestled together. You can already see when we first got these cut, these were all over the place, and just me bundling them together pretty tightly that first time has really helped. So it's going to be a little harder because I didn't hand straighten them periodically. You might have to do a little more heat bending at the end, but I still think they'll work out okay. Alright, so we'll lay these down and just look down and find where the crooked at. There's a little straightening. Okay, so since these are pretty dry, I'm not going to be able to do much hand straightening. They're just pretty stiff. I mean, I can bump a little bit of it, but they're so dry they still go back. So what I'd recommend if you do that, just take your knife and start scraping off this green stuff, or in this case it's brown. The way I do that is I hold my knife at a 90 and just scrape it off. I don't really cut into it, I just scrape it. And I just do that all over all of them. And then once you get them done, you can take a heat gun or a candle or a fire and hold it over and heat the spot that you want to bend, and then bend it by hand and kind of sight down it and get it pretty close. So luckily I have this bundle which I've kept up on a little bit better. I cut these a little bit before I cut them, and I kept up with them quite a bit better. These have been rough straightened. They're not perfect. They got a little bit of wave to them here and there, but overall they're pretty good. So once you have them to this point, what I like to do is I like to cut them. So I'll cut them roughly. I'm just guessing these are probably about 36 inches. Yeah, they're probably about 32 to 36. And then what I want to do is I want to weigh them and try to group them by weight and spine. So I have a spine tester and a grain scale. So let's go do that, and we'll get them all grouped, and that way we can build a good match set of arrows. Come on. Alright guys, so now that I've got these shafts weighed, my next step is going to be, I'm going to test the spine on them and get a matched spine set. So we've got a little spine tester behind me. It just measures the deflection. It just kind of helps me get an idea of what spine it is, and then that way I can match them as close to spine and weight as I can to have a good match set. So when I put this on here, I put it underneath this knob, over top of this knob, and then underneath this knob. So I go under, over, and then under. And then I look at my needle, and I want to get it on 0, or here it says set. So I will just turn this knob here until it comes up there. And then I have this weight, and I hang it right here. And as you can see, this particular shaft here is about 50 to 55 pounds. So I'll just go through each one of these shafts and I'll mark the spine on it. And that'll help me get a better match set. See, this one's 25 to 30. So, dealing with natural materials, of course, the bigger shafts are going to spine heavier. You can see the difference in these two. Plus, I didn't get all the brown inner bark off of it, so that might play a part in it as well. All right guys, now that I've got all these weighed and I've got the spine measured on them, and I took a Sharpie and I wrote down the spine and the weight in grains of each arrow so I can kind of keep a better match set. Okay, the other thing that I want to do, the center of these wild rose shafts is not it's not solid, it's kind of a pithy material. So what I'm going to do, I have a bamboo skewer, and I'm going to drill this pithiness out and super glue a piece of this inside. So when I do my point tapers, and then on the other end my knock ends, that'll be solid instead of being hollow in the center, because that pithiness, it's not very stout. So I have a drill bit the size of my bamboo skewer. So let's drill them out. Now on my point end, the point end is going to be your bigger end. Your smaller end is going to be your knock taper, or for your knock end. So on my bigger end, your taper for your point is usually longer. So I'll drill it out pretty deep. And you just want to, it drills out pretty easy. You just want to take it slow and get your drill started in there. All right, now you just shove your bamboo skewer in there, mark it, take my Leatherman, and I'll just clip that off. I'll take my super glue, I'll fill my hole up. Well, I won't fill it up, but I'll put a liberal amount of super glue down in there to kind of fill in the gaps. Now shove that in there. Keep my super glue off my fingers, I'll use my pliers. Once I got that shoved down in there, I'll fill in the remaining with the super glue. And this kind of helps add weight to the end of your arrows. Everybody wants a weight forward or heavier point weight on their arrow shafts. So that'll help with that as well. And then we'll flip it around on the point or the nock end. Your nock's not as long as your point, so I won't drill it near as deep. You just want to go slow because this end's a little narrow where you don't want it splitting out on you. So I probably drilled in there, I'm guessing an inch or so. Yeah, maybe a little over an inch. Take my lime or my Leatherman. Can't hold on to anything. Alright. So I've got my piece of bamboo. Hold it in my mouth. Fill that hole up with super glue again. Take your piece of bamboo, slide it down in there. Top it off with a little super glue. And that'll set up, and you can either taper that down and put like boning signature nocks on it. You can cut self nocks, whatever you want to do. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. Kind of pressed for time. I might just use some glue on nocks. But that's all I'm going to do for today, guys. I hope you learned something. Be sure and tune in next week where I take this, we seal it, or we final straighten it, we seal it, put a nock and a point and some feathers on here, and we shoot it. Till then, we'll see you next time on Perry Fray's Outdoors.